Hello and welcome back to Hyacinths with Haz, and today's review is new, and it's none other than Midas Touch by Argos. So here we've got the box, which has got some artwork on there. It's got some details about the fragrance. It's an extrait de parfum. So let's have a look inside and we will see the gorgeous packaging. And here it is. There's the box, gorgeous purple colour, I believe, with the brand logo and name on, and the name of the fragrance on the bottom there. And inside, there is the fragrance, sits just there, gorgeous. And then there's some details about the fragrance, the story behind it, obviously King Midas, and the notes are just on the bottom there, which I'll put on your screen shortly. So let's get into it, because I've been excited for this release and I'm not going to stall things any longer. We've got some extras which I'll talk about at the end, but I want to show you the bottle. There it is. Absolutely fantastic. It's not fingerproof, however, so I'll give it a little buff. And as you can see on the front, there's the plaque with the name of the fragrance, Midas Touch. Clear, each one's hand painted. Then on the top, you have the Argos Fragrances logo with the jewel, gorgeous. Now this bottle, it's thick, it's glass, and it's heavy. As you can see, name of the brand at the front, and we've got something a bit special here. Now no, it's not what's on the back, it's what's inside. So this fragrance is released as 30ml and 100ml, and also in the 100ml, as you may be able to see there, you can get it with gold flakes for a little extra, something which I wanted to pay for. Now just watch this. Look at that. Look at it. That is absolutely gorgeous. So you've got the juice and you've got real 24 karat gold flakes. Now I've been assured that they don't get stuck in the atomizer or the tube, and I can confirm this is the case because I have used it and the gold flake comes out. Now on the back there, it might be difficult to see, hopefully you can. You'll see the Argos logo, Christian Petrovich's signature. I'll just rotate it slowly so hopefully you can see. And then on the bottom, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I've got Hyacinths, the name of the channel, laser etched onto the fragrance. And also on the side, I don't know if you can see it, it's where my finger is here. It's got 2025, 68 out of 100. So this is a limited edition, the gold flake. There's only 100 of these to be released, and I've been lucky and privileged enough to get one. So there's the bottle. Now, the bottle is thick and it's heavy. And in my opinion, Argos do the best bottles on the market, bar none. Everything about them. The artwork on the front, it's hand painted. Yes, the laser etching's not standard, but still. Thick, curved glass. Excellent atomizer. The lid is really heavy. It's just, and there's some details on the bottom there. Extrait de parfum, 100ml, as I said. Now, the only criticism I have with the bottle is that the lid pushes into place. It doesn't click. It's very snug. Look, it's very snug. It's not coming off. But if it clicked into place, or heaven forbid, if this was a magnetic cap, if you're watching there, Mr. Petrovich, magnetic cap on this, and you just cornered the market on fragrance bottles. But for me, best bottles on the market. So, let's go. One in the air. Fantastic atomizer. Hopefully you got some gold flakes there. And two on the hand. We're going to let it air off a bit, and then hopefully you can see some of the gold flakes. Let it settle. We'll go through the notes and then we'll see what we get off the top. The notes for Midas Touch by Argos. In the top, we've got bergamot, gurjum balsam and tuberose. Then in the mid, we've got labdanum, leather, osmanthus and rose. And then in the base, we've got nagamotha, oud, patchouli and benzoin. So we've got a range of notes there. There has been some questions asked about the rose and the oud. And the reason I say that is the last 3 Argos releases, I believe, have been rose oud. Now, a lot of people have questioned, is this going to be another rose oud? And Christian on his live stream assured us it wasn't. That wasn't, based fully around that. So I was a bit nervous because this isn't a cheap fragrance, but excited at the same time. I took the man on his word and I thought, let's see what it's like. Now it's settled down a bit and hopefully you can see, can you see that? Can you see the gold flakes on my hand? Hopefully you can. There you go. It's real. So for me, off the top, when I first tried this, I was concerned. And the reason I was concerned is because I thought, is this just going to be another rose oud dark leathery fragrance? And when I first put it on and smelled this, my exact words were, fuck. Because I thought, I've spent a lot of money on this. And for me, all I was getting initially was the leather or the labdanum. I was getting some oud, Western oud, not barnyard. And I was getting a touch of rose. So I thought to myself, have I made the mistake of buying another rose oud? Nothing wrong with rose oud. I love rose oud, as I've said on the forums. But I don't just want to keep buying more and more rose ouds, especially one release after the other. If there's a gap of 2 or 3 fragrances, then a rose oud, not a problem. But anyway, I digress. I'll come back to that later. So off the top, it's quite dark, it's quite leathery, it's quite oudy and woody, and it's got a little touch of rose there. What I'm happy to say is that after around 10 minutes on my skin, and everyone's skin's different, and I have asked on the forum for people's opinions, you do get a little touch of citrus, a little bit of brightness, and some soft, sweet notes that come through here, which is fantastic because I was worried it wasn't going to change. A bit like Karen's Veil didn't change for me. So, initially, leather, rose, oud. It's very pleasant, but it's strong. Then when that settles down, you start to get notes coming through and peeking out. Fantastic. What do you get? So for me, you get a little bit of bergamot. Now, the bergamot isn't bright and zingy. It's kind of more like a rindy bergamot. So it's fruity and it's got like not much brightness, but there is a touch of sparkle that comes through. Is it from the bergamot? Maybe. Then you've got other notes such as the osmanthus. Now, I think the osmanthus is the key player here, and I think this is what makes the fragrance for me. Now, osmanthus is described as a combination of sweet, fruity, leathery notes, often described as similar to ripe apricots, peaches and plums with a soft, velvety, sometimes creamy or milky undertone. Now, this is what I get from this, and it's great in the fragrance because I have discussed Argos fragrances before and said, right, if we're getting a mythological story, here we're getting Midas Touch, King Midas, everything he touched turned to gold. So I thought, right, this fragrance, it's going to be bright, it's going to be golden. But when I looked at the notes, I thought, maybe it isn't. And for me, if you're not matching the story with the fragrance, personally, I think you're missing a trick. But it's the osmanthus in here, which is key. So looking at the description, which I've just taken from Google in general, sweet, fruity, leathery notes. I get all of those. And the sweetness and the fruity notes balances the dark leathers and oud fantastically. Similar to ripe apricots. Now that's what I get here. I get apricot and I get a golden kind of smell, which is great because that fits the narrative perfectly. The fragrance is golden in juice and it's got gold flakes, and the story is all about gold. So the osmanthus in the mid here, for me, it makes the fragrance and it gives it that other dimension that you need. Having a look at the other notes, you've got the Gurgum Balsam, which is in the top, and that comes through fairly quickly. That is described as fresh, woody and spicy with a soft, balsamic, slightly sweet quality. Again, that's what I get in here. I do get soft sweetness with a bit of wood, and it freshens it up a bit. Again, it moves it from being a deep, dark, earthy fragrance, brings a little bit of brightness. There's a little bit of sparkle, touch of sweetness, and a bit of fruitiness. And this fragrance does need it, because for me, it opens up quite deep and quite dark, and it was concerning because I thought if this doesn't change, then for me, it's just another dark, resinous, woody winter fragrance. And I wanted to see something golden and something with character come out here, and it does. Now, here is my main concern. Tuberose. I believe I dislike tuberose. I've tried many a fragrance, as you know, and a lot of the ones I dislike seem to have tuberose in it. Now, most of the fragrances with tuberose in that I've got are mid-range. So I've never tried a high price or high niche fragrance with tuberose in. So I thought, look, if this is going to be a high quality tuberose, it may be fine. But most tuberose I don't like. So looking at tuberose again, to give a description: rich, creamy, and intensely sweet floral note, white floral, with a sensual, captivating character, which can also be spicy, woody, and slightly green. Okay, so from that, I would have thought I would have liked it, but it's the rich creaminess in fragrances that sometimes puts us off. I love white florals. I like sweet notes, spicy and woody, absolutely fine. Now, I'm pleased to report that the tuberose in here is as described, and it's a quality note. I don't smell it and I'm not put off. I'm okay with it here. So for me, rich, creamy, and sweet white floral. That's exactly what I get. And that's great, because looking at the notes here, you've initially got leather, labdanum, rose, patchouli, oud, a lot of deep woody notes. So you need the lighter notes. Now you've got some florals. Now you've got some sweetness. Now you've got a little bit of brightness. There's a touch of sparkle in here. Not sure where that comes from, but that's great. But for me, the Gurgen Balsam, excellent. And it adds to the character of the fragrance, and it helps it to develop. It gives it richness. Now the richness, I'll say it again, the richness in here is great. It's an extrait de parfum. It's golden juice, and it's rich. It's rich, it's slightly creamy, it's very well blended. After the initial 10 minutes and everything develops, there's nothing spiky or cutting or dominant in here. It blends together very well. And you get warmth, you get sweetness, you get fruitiness, you get some lovely leather like suede. It's a lovely creamy soft leather. You've got the oud, which is a western-ish oud. It's not barnyardy, but it's not super sweet neither. So that's a nice, pleasant, woody smell. And then you've got the patchouli, the nice earthy note. Comes across as soft, powdery, and chocolatey. Again, that goes well with warmth, sweetness, and the little fruity edge here from the apricot, which is in the osmanthus. Then you've got a touch of rose here. Again, it's powdery, it's soft, it's rich. You've got the benzoin, nice, warm, ambery, resinous note. Now the nagamotha, again, not something I come across often. Nagamotha, woody, earthy, and warm. Fantastic. So again, as opposed to an individual note, I think that the nagamotha is a supporting note and adds to the overall feel of the fragrance and the scent profile. So what I get here, I get a dark, deep woody opening. Then I get some fruit and softness and warmth and a little bit of lift and a bit of zing come through in the mid. And then in the base, later on, much later on in the fragrance, you get the soft, chocolatey patchouli, the woody notes from the oud, the ambers, the benzoin, the warmth, and it all just comes together very well. A lot of these notes are not main players, and they lend off each other. They take little facets from each other and they come together, and everything just kind of blends and melds very well. And then you've got almost like, it's like a warm ball of fire, and the notes just radiate from it in all directions. It's rich, it's opulent, it's classy, and for me, and this was a big bugbear of mine, when I close my eyes slightly later into the fragrance, let's say about an hour in, and I smell, I get the golden smell, and I think that's from the osmanthus. So Christian, the addition of the osmanthus in here was a master touch. So the performance on Midas Touch by Argos is not disappointing, but there is a few things I want to talk about. Now, it's an extrait de parfum, so you're expecting somewhere around the 30% mark for oil concentration. Now, it is quite heavy and quite thick, so projection on this, I would say is around 2 feet. It's a couple of feet. It's not a room filler. It's not going to choke anyone out. And it projects fairly well. It's a heavy fragrance and it sits closer to the skin, although it's not a skin scent at all. But for me, what's great is the sillage. So the sillage, which is the scent bubble around you and the cloud when you're moving around, this fragrance, albeit it doesn't boom off your skin and kind of go out, it's more like a fog around you. It's like a fairly thick, dense fog around a couple of feet. And what you'll find is when you move, the fragrance moves with you. Now, as I wore this, because I've worn this for the past few days, unlike some influencers who have just got the bottle, sprayed it, had a look, seen it's next straight to parfum and says, oh yes, it lasts 12 hours and projections 4 feet and all this cobblers. Well, not here. I've given it a couple of days to give you the exact information and my unbiased opinion. So if you want to listen to them, go ahead. But I'm just telling you what I've found in the real world. So, sillage is nice. When someone's in your fairly close proximity, they are going to notice the fragrance. I don't think people are necessarily going to notice it from 3 and 4 feet away. They will notice it in passing and they'll notice it if they're talking to you face to face, and it's nice. The projection on this is exactly what I want it to be. I don't want it to be super loud like Versace Eros and in everyone's face and up everyone's nose and up everyone's arse. I want it to stay classy. So I want it to stay fairly intimate but fairly noticeable. And that's exactly what it does. Longevity on this fragrance, surprisingly, is very good. No disappointment. I've never had an Argos fragrance which has had longevity problems, to be honest. And this is no different. So for me, and I talk about performance. Oh, I've just noticed there. Sorry, I'm going off track. Can you see that? There's gold flake in the tube. So there you go. Just to show you, the gold flake does come out of the tube and it doesn't get blocked. And if it does, Christian has provided a separate atomizer lid so you can wash it out. But anyway, going back to longevity. So longevity is very good. For me, performance, which is, this is not performance. If you're having to hunt for it and literally put your nose on your skin, that's not performance, that's a skin scent. And a lot of fragrances will last God knows how long like that. But this one, for me, it performs well, and it performs around here. You can smell your hand from a foot. I would say for a solid 8 hours, going on towards the 9 and 10 hour mark, not a problem. Now, what I will say is I went to bed after 12 hours and I could still detect it fairly close. I woke up the next morning, so we're on 18 hours or something, and I could still smell it on my hand, albeit fairly close, but I would say that performance, as I classify it, a solid 8 to 10 hours. Not a problem, and that's on 4 to 6 sprays, I would say. The 24 karat gold version in 100 mils will cost you £352. Now, I believe that you get free postage over a certain amount, so free postage on this. But £352 is expensive. £3.52 per milliliter. Quick maths. So yes, it's certainly, as far as I'm aware, is Argos's most expensive fragrance release to date. So for me, it had to deliver. It had to deliver the scent, the performance, and how it looks, the packaging and the bottle. And it doesn't fail to deliver. Now, the non-24 karat gold version, without the gold flakes, £308. So the difference there, again, quick maths, £44 difference. Now, for me, it was a no-brainer. Am I going to pay £44 to have gold flakes in my fragrance bottle? Of course I am. And I'm doing it for you guys. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already, because that enables me to keep getting these fantastic fragrances to bring for yourselves. And also, the other reason why I've paid for it is this is going to look absolutely fantastic when I put it up on my shelf with the rest of my Argos fragrances. This will look absolutely fantastic with them. So presentation, second to none. Personalisation makes us feel great about spending my money. And the 30 ml, which doesn't have gold flakes, is £184. So for me, there's much better value going for the 100ml bottles. The engraving, £7 for normal engraving. Deluxe engraving, which gives Christian's signature and the logo of the house, is £16. For me, it's all worth it. So where to wear this fragrance? Now for me, I think it is work safe. So you could wear it at work at lighter sprays. Suit and tie, yes. Black tie events and important VIP stuff, absolutely perfect. Because this fragrance, it's very rich, opulent and classy. So it's perfect for that. Day socials, maybe. But evening socials, yes. I wouldn't wear this on holiday. I wouldn't wear it at the gym. It's just too special and too classy for that. So for me, I wouldn't be wearing it there. I would save this more for special occasions because I do think it's quite a special fragrance. Seasonality on this. Well, I think autumn is great for this because it's a dark fragrance, albeit it's got some soft fruity notes in there. So autumn, yes. Winter, also you can wear it because it's deep, it's rich and it lasts, it's heavy, it's powerful. But I also think you could wear this in the spring because it's got some slightly earthy green notes, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of softness. So I think spring, especially when it's not warm, yeah, spring. So early spring, autumn and winter would be perfect for this. So in conclusion, Midas Touch by Argos. Can I recommend this fragrance? I think I can. The overall package you're getting, the presentation, the bottle, the fragrance, the performance, it's all there for me. Now at £352 for 100ml, yes, it's expensive. But for me, I would rather have one of these than 3 decent designer fragrances. We've all got decent designer fragrances, but we're looking for something special that stands apart from the crowd. And this certainly stands alone. I think it's a great release. I think Christian saved his best for last, and it'll look fantastic up there on the shelf in the next video. So come back for those and subscribe if you haven't. Now, I want to know if you're going to buy this fragrance, or if not, if you're going to buy a different version of it and why. Let us know, because I want to get your opinions, because it helps me to bring you exactly what you want. But yeah, it's a rich, opulent, classy fragrance. It performs and it delivers. It's not completely unique, but it's certainly different in the line. And it's one where I think it's somewhat similar to your more resinous kind of fragrances like Bulgari's Orom, maybe Givenchy's Fantasque. It's kind of in that realm, but it's got a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of fruitiness, which for me just gives it that twist and it gives it that special golden feeling. So Midas Touch by Argos. Is it fool's gold? Well, for me, it sets the gold standard. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.